Hey, y'all, welcome back to the Late Night Vision Show, episode 42. My name is Jason, owner of Outdoor Legacy, and I've got my good buddy Hans from the Hans ETX YouTube channel. How are you tonight, Hans?
Man, in the studio tonight, it is 42 degrees. I'm looking at the thermometer right now, and if you're watching on YouTube, you're probably wondering why I have a big coat on. It's because I feel like my toes are about to fall off. It's
It's literally 42 degrees in there?
Literally 42 degrees. And so, yeah, it's pretty chilly. So that's why I have a big coat on. If you're watching on YouTube right now, it's not for show.
If Hans, if you want to give your address, we're taking up love offering and donations for Hans to get heater out there in his doghouse. So
Yeah, I've got a heater. It just makes too much racket. But hey, you got to do it. That's why we're doing this thing and not,
that's right.
I tried other studios and this was the quietest one. So
I think, folks, what I think he's trying to say is his better half has kicked him all the way out to the doghouse, to the barn, no doubt.
She's watching Netflix shows right now, so I don't want to interrupt that. That's important.
No, that's very important. Well, folks, look, we are really glad that you're back. Again, this is episode 42. We've got another informative episode today. We'll get into that in just a little bit, but we want to real quickly run down and let you know where all you can find the podcast. It is available on all the major podcast apps. It is on YouTube. That's one of the exciting things. A lot of people listen to it. But if you are able to get over to YouTube, you can go there and subscribe to the channel and be notified whenever there is a new episode out, and you can watch there. We are on Instagram and Facebook. We would love it if you went and followed us on those platforms. Hans is best known for his YouTube channel, the Hans ETX, Hans East Texas YouTube channel. Go there, check him out, subscribe, and you will be entertained every single week with a new video of some sort. This week, I know he got a great one come out with some predator hunts, a bunch of coyote kills from a contest that I think we talked about last week, and that was great. You can also find him on Instagram. Again, I am from Outdoor Legacy. I'm the owner, and we would love for you to visit us at Outdoor Legacy Gear, Gear. That's outdoorlegacygear.com. If you've got questions about thermal, you need advice before you purchase, or you know what you want and you're ready to purchase, you can purchase it there, or you can give us a call at 877-350-1818. And you can also find us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So that is all the social medias.
Good job.
And go hunt us down and find us. One last thing, we would love to hear from you. If you need to email us, if you'd like to leave us feedback, give us a show suggestion, that number, or let me say there's a phone number you can call, and you can leave a voicemail. We will not answer, but you can leave a message there, and that number is 903-833-4461. We might play that on the show. We will leave out your name, or at least your last name, nothing identifying you. And then you can email us at thelatenightvisionshow@gmail.com. I'd like to see your pictures of your hunts, anything like that. I know I saw right before we started this, Hans was posting some pictures up, some listener and viewer pictures on Instagram. I'm going to post some of those on Facebook, so send them in. We always love to see them.
Love to see those pictures. I thought you were about to say if you call, if you got questions, we got answers. But that's probably trademarked or something.
You think that's trademarked? We could, if you've got thermal questions, we have thermal answers. That's not trademarked. Now it is trademarked.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got a full show today. We're going to kind of jump right into it because we've brought up the topic in the past. We've got some new products coming out that we hope to have in our hands sometime in the first half of the year, and this is one of them, and one of the ones that has gotten a lot of excitement, Jason, from a lot of viewers, a lot of listeners, a lot of people. When we went to the SHOT Show, said, "Hey, go check out the new Pulsar Axion thermal handheld monoculars. We want to know more about it." So today's show is all about the Pulsar Axions, the new handheld thermal monoculars that you've probably seen pictures of, that you've heard a lot of buzz on. These are an item that right now is on, that you can back order through Outdoor Legacy Gear.
Pre-order?
Pre-order, back order. Some kind of order. You can order it somehow.
Order.
But you can get on and pre-order the Axion. And I'm just going to run down the different ones, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about it and kind of. And I've got my notes because there's just so much information in here right now that I don't want to screw anything up, but I know that I will, and that's why I've got my good buddy Jason to set me straight.
I'm sitting on edge, ready to correct every mistake you make. So I'm
get
ready.
Your notebook
Go
ready.
for it. So I've got it all up here in this, steel tight, mind of mine. Go for it.
Exactly. Well, I know that mind. There ain't nothing steel tight about it. But we're going to go. So there's 3 different Pulsar Axions. And so we're going to go through. First thing I'm going to talk about are the specs that are common throughout all 3 models. So here are the common specs for all the 3 models. All of them are 320 by 240 thermal resolution. They're all 12 microns. All have 50 hertz refresh rate. They are IPX3 rated. So that's
IPX7.
IPX. Why do I have a 3 written down here? See?
I don't know. It's a 7.
Oh, no, because I was going to put 30. Yeah, because I was writing down. I have a 7 there, actually. Goodness gracious. IPX7 rated. I know this. I don't know why. IPX7 rated, and it's submersible up to 3 foot of water for 30 minutes. That's why I had the 3 on there. So that's...
I'm getting a new Vanna White. That's all I'm saying. If I'm Pat Sajak here,
I don't even have blonde hair or nothing.
No, nothing.
They all weigh about 9 ounces, and I think one of the things that we all see the pictures of is how small they are and how it kind of fits perfect right there in the palm of your hand. It's got the strap that goes around the base of your hand. They have AP3 batteries, which is a new type of battery that's also going to be commonly used in the thermions. Rechargeable batteries. They have about 4. They say they have about 4 hours of runtime in 22 degrees Celsius temperature. So Jason did the math real quick in his head, and he said it's around 70 degrees. So
I did.
Thank you, Bill Nye, the science guy.
I think that I was just looking and guessing that I have no idea what Celsius is. I don't know, but it's and also one other minor thing is they are APS. A as in Apple, P as in Paul, S as in Sam. APS 3 batteries. I just wanted to be clear. You just missed that up a little bit. But yep, APS 3 batteries, 9 ounces.
You might need to just make a list and correct me when I'm going through all this stuff.
I did wait as long as I could, but once you had 2, I decided it was fine.
It's a new battery. Yeah. Nobody's ever heard of it. It's designed especially for the Pulsars. So we're all kind of, we're all trying to get to learn all this stuff brand new. And these are specs that, basically we found and got through Pulsar and did a little research. But they are saying that they have less than a 3-second startup time, multiple color palettes, and picture-in-picture display. So those are the common specs that are found through all 3 models.
I do want to say this. We believe, to the best of our knowledge, that in all these specs we're given, we have gotten directly from Pulsar, and they've been gleaned from the International Pulsar website, the Pulsar catalog, several different sources, all by Pulsar, and sometimes there's different specs in different places. Yeah. And part of that just comes down to they're brand new units, so sometimes they give information long before even, they're out, like maybe before a SHOT Show, and they give info and then come to find out there's something a little bit changed. One thing that Hans said there, we believe, is that all the units have picture-in-picture and color palettes, but I don't know that for a fact. We think that's right from the way that what we're seeing. So, again, information is still sketchy on some of these things. So I'm going to let Hans jump on in here and give the specs for each unit, and we're going to dig into those a little bit when he's done. I'm going to try to resist doing anything but correcting him, but I will say, and I'll say it again in a minute, these are the specs we pulled from their website, and we'll talk about I believe there's a couple mistakes here just from what I'm seeing, possibility. So I'm going to let him dig in, and then we'll talk about him.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, nobody's had one of these in their hand yet. So Jason and I both saw one of these units at the SHOT Show. We got to look through it, but nobody that I know of or have heard of has had one out in the field, has confirmed really all the specs that we're talking about right now. We believe them to be true because of what we're getting from Pulsar, but again, just to kind of reiterate what Jason's saying. So getting into the first model, what they're calling the base unit, but this is the Pulsar Axion Key XM30. The price on this unit is $18.99. The difference between this and other units, it does not have the internal video recorder. It's not Wi-Fi capable like the other units are. This is a base magnification of 2.5. It goes up to 10x. It's a digital zoom. The LCOS display
liquid
screen.
Liquid crystal over silicone.
And we're going to talk about that soon, or Jason's going to describe that to everybody soon. It's a 960 by 7. What I put on there, 720.
Yeah, that's right. 960 by 720 resolution on the display. Now, let's be clear, folks. We're talking about the display. It's a 320 by 240 on the thermal core, but a 960 by 720 resolution on the display.
On the display screen. So 1,200 meter detection range, and what they're saying is it's a human-sized target standing up. We're going to get into a little bit that here shortly. 45-foot field of view at 110 yards. Again, we'll get into a little bit of that later because we kind of think that sounds a little squirrely, but we'll talk about that in the other models. So that is the Key XM30. Again, that's the base unit, $18.99, and we went through the specs. The second model is the Pulsar Axion XM30. Its price is $21.99. Now this has a base magnification of 4. Goes up to 16 times. It's a digital zoom. It's an AMOLED screen. It's a 1020 by 768 screen resolution. 1,200 meter detection range. 45-foot field of view at 110 yards. It does have the internal video recorder. It has 16 gigs of internal storage, which is an increase from the other units that were previously put out. I know that the Trails and the Helions had 8 gig, and they said that these are doubled now. It's up to 16 gigs. It does have the Wi-Fi capable Stream Vision app in that. So that one, and then the last one is the Pulsar Axion XM38. Now, y'all, I know we're throwing out a lot of numbers, a lot of different models of the 3 models, but basically these are the 3 models, and we can get into this a little bit, dive into it a little bit more. But the XM38 price on that is $25.99. It's a base magnification of 5.5 and goes up to 22 power magnification. It's a digital zoom. Again, AMOLED display screen, 1020 by 768 resolution. It's a 1,700 meter detection range, 33-foot field of view at 110 yards. It does have the video recording, and it is Wi-Fi capable through the Stream Vision app. So those are the 3 different Axion models, the brand new thermal handheld monocular from Pulsar. So Jason, tell me what I got right. Tell me what I got right.
You got most right. I resisted. No, the only minor little thing you said was the XM30 and the XM38 have an AMOLED. They're 1024 by 768. So you left off 4 pixels, and I don't think anybody's going to care, but I just wanted to say that. So anyway, back to Hans and I were alluding here that there's several things that we're just not sure about. And I was talking to my Pulsar rep today, and I ran some of this by him, and he agreed it didn't look right. So a lot of this info could be preliminary, and this is the one place we were a little concerned about, and that's going to be on the detection ranges and the field of views. And the reason is we've got the Key XM30. Don't know the exact diameter of that objective lens. I couldn't find that. I'm guessing it's going to be around 22 to 24 millimeters. It's going to be the same thing on the XM30, the full model. So same diameter objective lens, but the difference is a 2.5 power versus a 4 power. We know they've got the same thermal core, that 320 by 240 at 12 microns. It would be impossible for them to have the exact same field of view, everything else being equal except the magnification. And we can't go from a 2.5 to a 4 and maintain a 45-foot field of view.
Right.
So we don't know which one of these numbers, which one has the 45. Is the 45 right on the XM30, the 4-power? We just don't know. So I would take these with a grain of salt. And, again, we said here it's a possible 33-foot on the XM38. I think that's possibly right. We just don't know.
Right.
We don't know. They're going to be somewhere between, I would say 50 and 30 foot. Yeah. And I think we're, Hans can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're going to be very safe to say that the 2.5 power is going to have the widest field of view. The 4-power is going to have the middle field of view, and the 5.5 is going to have the narrowest. I mean, that's just logical the way these work.
Well, do you want to talk a little bit about the LCOS screen versus the AMOLED? You want to get into that?
That's a question we've been getting a lot, and this is going to be something that, if y'all listen to our episode on the Wraith and on the Thermion, we're giving you the facts that we know. We're giving you our speculation based on our experience with other optics in the field, and then the rest is a lot of speculation. And so that's really where we're going to be talking about, like on this LCOS, the liquid crystal over silicone. That is, a lot of people have never heard of that. It is an upgrade from an LCD, a liquid crystal display. So you have an LCD, you have the LCOS, and then you have the OLED, then you have an AMOLED. So the AMOLED is going to be better than the LCOS, but they're both better than the standard LCD that we used to have.
Right.
FLIR is using a FLCOS, and I don't know the exact technical difference, I should say, in the FLCOS and the LCOS. But I do know this. Those displays look great on the FLIRs, so I'm not really concerned about it. But that is the one thing that is noticeably different. It's a slightly lower resolution, 960 by 720 versus 1024 by 768 on the AMOLEDs. So, logical question is it going to look different? Is it going to be worse? How much worse? And our answer is we don't really know.
Right.
That was not something that we were able to access at the SHOT Show and get a good look at, is on the Key model. So we're not sure. My gut says it's going to be, not quite as good as the AMOLED, but I think it's going to be a minor detail. I had somebody ask me, the next logical question is, okay, so the Quantum Lights, the Pulsar Quantum Lite handhelds that have been discontinued, they had AMOLEDs. This has an LCOS. Is that going to be worse? My gut says no, it's going to be better because we're still going to a 12 micron, still a 12 micron thermal core. So I still think we're probably going to have better image quality there than we did. The other thing, and this is something that we spoke to Jeff Murray, VP of Sales at Pulsar, about at the show, was all of these units have a focusable objective lens. And he stressed that it was a real focusable objective. That was one of the issues on the Quantum Lights. Is I kind of joked sometimes that I felt like the focus ring was a placebo. I never could really see that it did a lot, but it made you feel good to twist it around. Right. And so I believe that this is going to be a much more sensitive and adjusting focus ring than we had on those Quantum Lights.
Well,
so
absolutely, and from what we saw at the SHOT Show, these units are considerably smaller than the Helions. What do you think about that?
Yeah, they're much smaller, I think. And okay, there you go. I mentioned the Quantum Lights. Let's talk about the Helions. So on the surface, here's my gut reaction: these are going to be better than the Quantum Lights. Better for a lot of reasons. They're going to be smaller, more compact, rechargeable batteries, 320 by 240 at 12 microns. I think they're an upgrade. I don't think there's any question about it. I believe we're going to have better image quality across the board. Comparing these to the Helions, I think that's going to be tough because we are looking at a 320 by 240. whereas the Helions are all going to be 384 by 288 at 17 microns. I just don't know how they're going to compare. I part of me just thinks these Axions are going to have better image quality possibly than those XQ Helions. Now, if you're looking for high resolution, if you're looking for a 640 by 480 17 micron, you're still only going to get that in the Helion XP38 and XP50. And I think we mentioned this on another show, but the Helion XQ28, that's gone. It's been gone for a while. So the XQ38 and the XQ50 are going to stay around. The XP, the 640, XP28 is going away. So you'll have the XP38 and the XP50. So 4 Helions left, 3 of these Axions. And since we're just digging in and talking about all these different models, I can't help but mention there was some early on talk about another Axion model, slightly less expensive, maybe like $200 less magnification. And that unit, there was a little bit of literature put out right before the SHOT Show on it. And there were some people, including myself, who, we saw it, we made some comments on it, and then Pulsar said, yeah, we weren't really supposed to talk about that. That thing is not coming right now. May not ever even be a unit. That was something that was talked about, and it got printed up, and we didn't really mean to release that. So not saying it's not a possibility down the road, but right now it does not look to be a unit. These, confirmed again today, these are the 3 units that we should expect. If anything else changes, it's going to be a shock to everybody. So
yeah, and at these prices, the $18.99, $21.99, and $25.99, it kind of fits in there good. In some of the people that have asked about, a lower price handheld thermal unit. But I will, you go back to what you said about the picture quality, the feeling that it's going to be better than the 384. There's been a lot of question about that, and along with the thermions, because there's, the people are hearing that there's going to be a lower resolution rate, but now there's lower microns, which is better. So people kind of want to know, is the difference in the micron level going to mean a better picture, even though it's less resolution? And from what I've seen, with the FLIR units and that 12 micron at 320, it has a pretty good picture on it. And I think the micron is what's really going to make the difference, that lower micron level.
I think so. I'll say this. It's not going to be a bad thing. We're not going to go down in image quality. Pulsar would not have done it if it went down in image quality. It should go up. I don't think I'll say this. My money, no question, the image quality is going to go up. Now, is this going to be something drastic like take my Trail XQ38 and throw it in the dumpster and burn it so I can go buy a Thermion, or the same thing, throw away my Helion so that I can go buy an Axion? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be that kind of a difference. I do think it is going to be an incremental, a nice step up in image quality, though, going to this 12 micron core, even though you are giving up a few pixels. And you said it. The FLIRs have it. They're 320 by 256. It's almost an identical resolution at 12 microns, and they look slightly better. Now, not necessarily the PTS 233 because it's a fixed focus, but they do look slightly better than the Pulsars do at 384 by 288, 17 microns. So,
boy,
I know.
Wow, the phones are about to burn up now. I
know, it's true. All right, so look, folks, there's a lot. We have thrown out a lot of numbers, and I just want to try to make this real simple for you, as simple as we can. These 3 units are extremely similar. They look basically the same. The difference is the model that has the key, the XM30 key, does not have video recording and does not have the smartphone app. The other 2 models, the quote-unquote non-key models, the regular models, they do have video recording. They do have a smartphone app. Besides that, the real differences that are going to, this is where you're going to make your decision, is based on the magnification. 2.5 power on the Key XM30, 4 power on the regular XM30, 5.5 power on the regular XM38. Had a guy ask me, he was getting ready to pre-order one. He said, should I buy this regular XM30 because of the AMOLED versus the LCOS? And I said, absolutely not, because what you've described to me, you don't need 4-power.
Right.
So you should never buy something that's the wrong magnification for your application just to get one little feature that's a little better. That's a terrible. The magnification is where you're really going to make the difference on this, and make your different choices. Now, if you have to have video recording for some reason, then I understand you might have to do that, but you want to choose based on magnification alone, and also price. $18.99 for the Key, $21.99 for the regular XM30, and $25.99 for the XM38.
Yeah, and if you want internal video recording and Wi-Fi and all that, it's only $300 jump, which is not a bad deal. So
no, not at all. And so a lot of people have asked me, hey, do I need 4-power? Do I need 5-power? I don't think that you have to have it, but I do think that if you're hunting big fields and you're scanning, more magnification is not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. When you're hunting with your scope, and especially if you don't have a scanner, too much magnification can be a bad thing. You can get what I call tunnel vision. You can see that narrow field of view, and it's difficult to hold your rifle up and move around and do what I call panning and scanning. You're literally moving your shoulders back and forth all over 180 degrees. It's very tiring. The narrower your field of view, the more you're going to get worn out. But on the handheld, it takes very, very little to hold this 8-9 ounce thing in your hand, spin around and look. The more magnification, you're going to get the better range of detection and the better range of actual identification. Right. So I would not be scared if you're hunting fields where you can see 300-400 yards or further. I would not be scared at all to buy the XM30 4-power. And if you're hunting in farm country or coyote country, I think that XM38 for $25.99 is going to be a heck of a bargain.
Yeah.
I think that 5-power, 5.5 power is going to be nice for a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jason, if somebody wants to pre-order one of these units, where do they need to go?
Okay, great. You can go to outdoorlegacygear.com, and when you go there, you can search in the search box. If you don't want to look for them, you can just search for Axion, or you can search for pre-order, and we are pre-ordering right now the Axions and the Thermions, and it's $100 deposit that gets you in line. It's first come, first serve. And we are, taking that, and then we're keeping a list of everybody that comes in through the store and who makes that deposit and gets one. Now, this is what we need to talk about on the Axions. Potential delivery date of sometime in April. I tell everybody this is a pre-order. Yeah. It could show up at the end of March. It could show up in May or June. Right. But right now, according to today, talking to Pulsar, they're sticking to hopefully this April date. So again, don't be upset if it's a little bit late, because that's just the way it is, and it's got the same chance of possibly being early. Right. But here's what I want to point out. And it won't be hopefully quite as bad on these Axions, but just because you pre-order one doesn't mean that the very first shipment that comes into the U.S. means you're going to get one. And that's not just with me, this is with any dealer. Because here's what's going to happen. Just because I might have 20 of one model on order, they're not going to ship me 20. They're going to ship anybody 20. They're going to just piecemeal these things out to everybody. Obviously, the more that we have on order, the more that they're going to ship us. So if a guy's only got one on order, he might get that one, or if he's got two, he might get one. But a lot of us that have a lot will get more, but it doesn't mean they're going to fill our full order. And then we're just going to get what we can, ship them out, and we'll be waiting on the next batch to come in, whenever that is. Could be 2 weeks, could be 3 weeks, could be sooner. I want to bring this up because this is something that I see potentially being an issue, not so much on this because we're so close and these are going to be delivered, hopefully so soon. But talking about the Thermions, changing gears on that, I can already see that, we've got a lot of pre-orders coming in. There's going to be a lot of guys, and it's going to get down to you're going to have to wait even though you're on a pre-order. And I know you say, well, what's the point of pre-order? And then because it could be a shorter wait, because if you come in, September and say, all right, I'm ready, you may be 20 deep. And it's not just me. It may be with every dealer worth his salt. So if you want one and you want one, get on the pre-order list. If you're not in a hurry and you're willing to wait and just say, hey, I want to see how they do, if it's Axions or Thermions. I want to see how they do. I want to see what Hans and Jason say on, what their review is. That's fine. Wait, we're definitely not pushing anybody. We don't want anybody to get that impression. What we do want to say is expect delays and don't expect these things to be sitting, especially the Thermions later in the summer, to be sitting on the shelf and everybody trying to pawn them off. It's going to be a supply and demand issue. So that's just something I want everybody to be aware of and be very wary of anyone making promises about how many they're going to get and when they're going to get them, because if they tell you that, they're lying. I mean, and we've already had confirmed some big box stores or some big not normal mom and pop dealers like us, none of us, but some big stores that were lying about when they were getting them, and that's a sorry way to do business. And so I don't think any of the guys that Hans and I are buddies with in this industry would do that. So just be sure who you're dealing with, and make sure you make a purchase from a reputable dealer. But the Thermions, like I said, we're still shooting for hopefully August, give or take on that, hopefully sooner. Axions, we're hoping to see those things in April, again, if not sooner, but right now April's what we're shooting at. And if you really do want to wait on any of these units, no problem. We will be reviewing them as soon as we get our hands on them. Don't you worry about that. And if y'all know us, Hans and I are going to tell you the honest truth, what we think about it. If there's anything we are, it's probably to a fault. We're honest about it. So,
well, yeah, we look forward to reviewing these and getting them in our hand. There's no doubt. Got a lot of people asking our opinions on them, and we just have to say, you know what? We haven't used it, hadn't seen it. So we're kind of waiting on that. But we appreciate y'all listening to the show this week. Again, if you want to pre-order one of these Axions, one of the Thermions, just hop on over to OutdoorLegacyGear.com. You can do so. If you have any questions, as always, you can give Jason a call, 877-350-1818. Like Jason said earlier, please go check us out on all the socials. Please go give us a follow, a like, a subscribe, whatever it may be. But again, we appreciate y'all. All the listeners, all the feedback we get has been great. Show is growing like crazy. People from all over the country are tuning in, and it's a very good experience for us. We're excited about doing this every week, and we look forward to coming back next week, delivering you more breaking news on more thermals, more reviews, more stories from out in the field. Thank y'all for joining us. We'll see y'all next week. Stay safe in the fields. Keep making them bacon pancakes.